We begin with the breaking news. The Nigerian televangelist, Pastor Timothy Omotoso, now expected to be deported to his home country this evening. Omotoso and 2 others acquitted on all charges of rape and human trafficking today. The Gqeberha High Court delivered a judgment this morning. Let's go live now to Sipho Kema, who's been following the case, was in court for the verdict and is monitoring the reaction. Sipho, good morning to you. I imagine the supporters of Timothy Omotoso very much in high spirits this afternoon.
Well, absolutely, Stephen, but they were celebrating outside the Gqeberha High Court just for a brief moment. They've taken the celebrations to the church, which is one of the churches that was closed during the earlier years when Timothy Omotoso had been apprehended, arrested in April 2017 and brought in 2018. But from what we've seen is that the church had reopened afterwards, and the congregants had continued to go to church as well as attending that trial, supporting Timothy Omotoso during the 8 years, as well as his co-accused Lusanda Solani and Zukiswa Sito. Now, also, Stephen, now looking at the judgment that was handed down by Judge Irma Schoonman is that she focused on the key factors, and one of those defining factors that she spoke about, Stephen, was basically saying while the evidence was brought before her for 8 years, is that the NPA could not support their evidence or that he is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is one of the key factors that affected the judgment. But not only that, Stephen, remember she made reference to the cross-examination, as we've been saying since January as well during the closing argument, was that she voiced her dissatisfaction in the cross-examination and how she says was so shallow and did not probe the accused for his testimony or his evidence that he gave on the 9th and the 10th of December, which has led us to where we are today, Stephen. Really, as you mentioned, that a lot of the congregants and the supporters are very excited and very happy as they've been waiting for this moment for the past 8 years. You can see inside the church, they are busy making preparations, as we believe that they will have a service inside the church in celebration, but also saying that they're going to pray to thank God for this verdict. They can imagine. But now we can't really... we can't really get in, Stephen. We were not allowed inside, but also none of the members, church members, want to speak to us. We did try to speak to one of the leaders of this particular church here in Gqeberha, but he referred us to Peter Doberman, who left almost immediately after the verdict. Just to remind you some of the reasons why he would do that. In 2018, when he was cross-examining Cheryl Zondi, during that testimony when Judge Makaula was presiding over that matter, Stephen, he was very graphic with his cross-examination, asking about the depth and how long, and that got, outcry from the public, where the public, a mob, was waiting for him outside, and they decided to throw a shoe at the back of his head as he came out of court. So he used the back way to come out, as it's proved to be a bit of a problem for him to actually use the front of the court. But also, Stephen, we spoke to the CRL chairperson, Thokozile Kwanazi, about this verdict and what it actually means about other matters and cases against religious leaders when it comes to sexual misconduct, and also their role as the CRL when it comes to religious issues, or rather these sexual misconduct cases that are actually linked to some of these pastors and religious leaders. And she's saying that they are for regulating the religious sector within this country, and that's what they're fighting for and hoping to achieve.